Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. We're here to talk about the death of a '70s television icon and actress, uh, exercise guru, entertainer, um, Suzanne Somers. Yeah, Suzanne Somers, as many people know, was the actress on Three's Company. Uh, she portrayed Chrissy Snow, the blonde one, who was kind of out of it, which served on the um, kind of the less intellectual one, basically the dumb one, if you will, the stereotypical dumb blonde to Joyce DeWitt's intellectual and more sound-minded um, character. You know, she was on that show from 1977 to 1980. She was first discovered by Fred Silverman, who was the head of ABC at the time. Uh, on the Tonight Show. Prior to that, she had done some other acting gigs. She was in 1973's American Graffiti, for all those Lucasfilm fans. And but after 1980, she began to demand more money from ABC, and that prompted them to remove her from the show. And then it was just Joyce DeWitt as Janet and John Ritter as Jack Tripper. And then Chrissy, the character of Chrissy, would call in, and they would only hear her on the phone because of Suzanne's contract disputes. From there, Suzanne Somers went on to be an infomercial actress, famous in the 1980s, especially for the Thigh Master, uh, exercise machine, and a few other exercise machines. That was generally the thing that once you passed away, if you will, from mainstream acceptance, you got into one of two things, and she got into both. You either got into modeling for nudie magazines like Playboy, or you got into infomercials through exercise. Well, with the Playboy thing, she they published pictures of her in 1970, and after Three's Company jumped off in popularity in '77, she then, of course, she got mad at it and she then sued them. But then later on, as her career started to wane in the mid to late '80s, she went back to Playboy and did yet another photo shoot for them. So she actually had her pictures published on Playboy on two different occasions. In 1991, her career with ABC was revived, and she returned to ABC in yet another role as Carol from Step by Step, the mother on Step by Step. So now she's transitioned from jiggle, um, that jiggle artist, if you will, or that jiggle attraction in the 1970s to now in the 1990s. She's like this wholesome MILF, but she was still super hot. So, and that show lasted on ABC anyway until 1997, and then a year after, it lasted. It was moved to CBS. It was part of the original TGIF lineup. So both times with ABC, she was basically part of this programming initiative. In the 1970s, like I said a lot of times, Fred Silverman, when he took over for ABC, his strategy for competing with CBS's more seriously minded programming was to have the jiggle, to sell sex. That was the whole point of Three's Company. It was a very sexually charged show. It was a guy, Jack Tripper, living with two women Janet, played by Joyce DeWitt, and Chrissy Snow, played by Suzanne Somers. And he was telling the landlord that he was gay, but in reality, the implication was that he was sleeping with these two women. You know what I mean? On the show. So ABC went in that sexual direction, whereas CBS was more, like I said, serious minded in the 70s with TV shows like All in the Family, The Jeffersons, um, and Good Times. So ABC, in order to compete, they had to go in a completely opposite direction and just sell sex. And that was part of it with Three's Company. But then in the 90s, ABC became the wholesome network where they had shows like originally starting with Perfect Strangers and Family Matters and The Dinosaurs and Boy Meets World on that Friday night lineup. So she did a complete 180 when it came to that, as far as her image. She also was involved in a lot of alternative medicine things. The biodental research, I'm not really sure what exactly that is. I think it has something to do with women and menopause. She was involved with that. So she had her hands in a lot of things, a lot of cancer research. She also donated to Easter Seals because her son, um, that was part of the reason why she sued Playboy initially, was because she didn't want her son to see the pictures. But her son had suffered an accident early on in his life, and when she did the Playboy gig in the early '70s, she didn't have the money because that was before she really had gotten on as an actress. But yeah, rest in peace to Suzanne Somers. Again, she was as Chrissy Snow, her character was iconic. Wasn't the brightest, wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Of course, playing up the stereotypical uh, character, but she definitely was very hot. You know what I mean? She was, along with Farrah Fawcett, I would say, the top it girl, especially when it came to Caucasian women of the 1970s. Um, she died today, one day shy of her 77th birthday. It's crazy to pass away on the day before your own birthday. So, and she survived, like I said, by her son and her husband. You know, so rest in peace to her and condolences to her family. Come and knock at our door. We'll be waiting for you. Anyway, I used to watch Three's Company, every once in a while. I remember the spinoff, Mr. Roper, when the landlord did the spinoff. With his wife. And then when Mr. Furley became the landlord, that gave Don Knotts, aka Barney Fife, new life. He'd been, of course, big on the Andy Griffith Show, and then Three's Company. But yeah, Three's Company was, like I said, an iconic show. People remember the iconic living room. Now Joyce DeWitt is the only surviving member of the cast. Of course, um, John Ritter passed away in the '90s, and now it was the '90s that John Ritter passed away. Let me see. Hold on. No, I was I was way off. It was 2003. It seemed like the 90s because he was on that TV show with Katie Seagal as his wife, Eight Simple Rules. But yeah, he passed away in 2003. There was a lot of backstage stuff about Three's Company. They made a mini series about it because again, here and she was right to demand a pay increase because according to her, the other hottest TV stars at the time, like Henry Winkler on Happy Days and Carol O'Connor on All in the Family, had gotten raises too, and they had also threatened to quit when their well, Henry Winkler was on ABC, but on their respective shows, and she was up there as far as a female, but they wouldn't give her the pay increase. What she was asking for was astronomical, so they just kicked her off the show. Anyway, rest in peace to her. Condolences to her family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell button. See you in my next videos.